Today on the table, we have a Glock Model 17. So this is my first Glock, and as you know, for most collectors who collect 1911s and a whole bunch of other things like that, there's like a big thing where, we're not supposed to like Glocks because we like 1911s and so on and so forth. But that's not really the case. Like, I'm a collector and I like the history of just about everything, and I've never had a Glock before, and I actually bought this weekend when I was picking up an old Smith & Wesson revolver from the 50s, which I'll show later this week. And now this is a Glock Model 17. This is the very first one that they made. And obviously, with buying this, I was like, hey, you know what? I should look up the history of the company. And it's actually pretty cool. So the fellow was named Gaston Glock. Obviously, he was an Austrian. This is an Austrian-made pistol. But he was born in 1929. And the crazy thing is you would think that, with history and all the stuff like that, but he only passed away just a year and a half ago. So he actually died in December of 2023 at the age of 94. And now he was obviously an Austrian businessman. He founded the Glock company in 1963 or so. But what happened though is he didn't actually make patents or develop the first pistol until 1980. And this actually is the very first pistol that he made. The Model 17 is the very first one that he came up with. He actually was a curtain rod manufacturer in the beginning, in the early 1960s, and then he started making knives for the Austrian military. He got big into plastics and plastic presses, like induction molding, and so that's obviously how a lot of this started to be designed. But then he also hired people from H&K. So he hired 2 engineers from H&K when he decided to start making a pistol. And they went through and designed this, and I think they filed the patent like around 1981 or so for it is when it initially happened. And then 1982 is actually when it became in service. So police, military, obviously in Austria, and then obviously around the world, because they ended up making 20 million and they still make them, started using these. So just a couple cool things about it though is, obviously it is all polymer. It's basically all plastic except for the rail. And we can do a quick safety check on it. So you can see here, it is not loaded. And then here you can see the magazine. Now it is a 17 round mag, as you can see here. So you can do 17 plus 1 if you want. Now this is a Glock Generation 3. So it's a Glock Gen 3 is what they call it. And so there's actually 5 generations. So when he started the company, obviously the 17, which is the very first model he made, and there's tons of models in tons of different calibers. But what happened was he started the business in 1982, or at least he started manufacturing these. This is the very first one that he made, this 17, in a 9mm. And it's had 5 variations. So there's a Gen 1, Gen 2, a Gen 3, which is what this is, and then there's a 4 and a 5, and they currently still make the 5. Now I don't know if they're going to make a Gen 6 or what, changes that they will make to when that comes out. Just talking and looking online, the only things that they've really done are, maybe cutouts for a sight, different slide cuts here, rail here. There's not really much of a change that they've made to them over the years. But I have shot a friend of mine's before, and will they ever hold their value? They're very cheap. I mean, this one was, compared to my other pistols, this is super, super cheap. Even brand new, it was really cheap. And it's, it's never going to hold any value. It's, it'll be worth a very little bit here in a few years, especially if I start shooting. I haven't even shot it yet. It's totally brand new. It came with 2 magazines. I literally just got it yesterday. And, so it's not like it's going to be a collector's item. Maybe if you bought, some people collect the Gen 1s, like the initial Gen 1s, and those actually can go up in a little bit in value. But again, the company is still so new. They've only made these since 1982, so there's not much to it yet. They are super reliable. There's an internal hammer. As you can see, obviously there's no external hammer like you'd see on a 1911 or like a SIG or something like that. But it's very light. It's easy to hold on to. These Model 17s are their bigger models. There's a Model 19 that's a little bit smaller that is also a 9mm. And then they also have basically every other caliber. You can get a 45, a 40, a 10mm, a 22, a 380. And then there's probably a couple more that I'm missing, but obviously those are in different models. And if you watch the movie Avengers, Scarlett Johansson actually uses 3 different models of these of Glocks in the movie. So if you go back and watch the movie, she carries like a very small compact 380. She carries a very small 19. She has this model 17 as well. And then I think she has a 22 and a 26. Those I think are the 3 that she carries in the movie throughout the movie as she switches back and forth. But let me know if you have one. I imagine you may if you're watching the videos. If you shot it, what models you have, which ones you like, what's your favorite caliber in these. Please let me know in the comments. I am looking probably to buy some more. You've seen me with so many 1911s that I would like to buy a 45 ACP version of this. I think it's a model 40 or something like that. I have to look up and see what it is. But I'm going to probably get one of those in the future. And then obviously keep watching. I have a whole bunch of old pistols still coming. Well, I already have them. I'm going to make videos here coming up. But let me know if you have any questions, and please make some comments.